Where does your mind go when you sleep? Buddhist perspective. Chapter 1. Sleep. How it begins. It all starts with that familiar feeling of quiet. You're lying down, the day's activities fading into the background. You close your eyes, and it's like the world softly dims. Sounds become muffled. Lights seem further away, and that constant stream of thoughts begins to slow. It's like gently turning down the volume on everything around you. Your body, after being active all day, starts to settle. Muscles relax, tension melts away. Your mind, usually buzzing with plans and worries, transitions to a different mode. It's not a sudden stop, more like a smooth, gradual slide into a different state of being. The Buddha understood that balance is key to a healthy life, and sleep is no exception. He taught about finding the right amount, not too much, not too little, as mentioned in the Sigalovada Sutta. It's not about rigid rules, but about discovering what truly benefits you. Too much sleep can leave you feeling sluggish and foggy, like your mind is wading through mud. Too little, and you become irritable and stressed, unable to concentrate. The key is moderation, finding the sweet spot that allows your body and mind to function optimally. As you drift toward sleep, it's as if your senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, gently withdraw. The outside world becomes less important, and your inner experience takes center stage. We see this principle illustrated in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, a text which tells the story of the Buddha's final days. In it, there's a beautiful, simple moment. The Buddha, after a period of teaching, rests under a tree. It's a powerful reminder that even enlightened beings, like the Buddha, recognize the vital importance of rest. But what's truly remarkable is what follows. The Buddha awakens refreshed, his mind clear and sharp. He didn't use sleep to escape. He used it to enhance his awareness, to be even more present in the moments that followed. It illustrates that sleep, when approached mindfully, doesn't diminish our ability to be present. It can actually strengthen it. Science sheds further light on this process. It divides sleep into stages, including REM, rapid eye movement, and NREM, non-rapid eye movement sleep. In the early stages, especially NREM, that sense of calming and slowing down is most noticeable. During NREM sleep, your brain waves actually change, becoming slower and more rhythmic. It's a period of deep restoration, where the body repairs itself and the mind consolidates memories. This aligns remarkably well with the Buddhist perspective on sleep, a time when the mental chatter quiets, allowing for a deeper, more restorative rest. So, how can you apply these insights to your own nightly experience? To cultivate deeper, more peaceful sleep, you might find it helpful to think of sleep not as an ending, but as a conscious act of letting go. Imagine you've been carrying a heavy bag all day, filled with worries, to-do lists, and everything that happened. As you lie down, visualize yourself setting that bag down. Intentionally release your grip. It's not about forcing your mind to be empty. It's about acknowledging the busyness of the day and then consciously choosing to release it. This is a practice that, with patience and consistency, can lead to truly restful sleep, nurturing not just your body, but also your mind and overall well-being. Chapter 2. Mind resting. Is it gone? So you've drifted off, seemingly leaving the world behind. Your body is still, quiet. But what about your mind? Does it simply switch off like a light? Or is something else going on in that quiet space? From a Buddhist perspective, the mind is never truly gone. It's more like a change in activity, a shift in focus. Buddhism describes the mind as having different aspects, or aggregates, referred to as the 5 khandhas. These aren't separate physical parts, but rather different modes of mental functioning. There's the physical body, rupa, feelings, vedana, perceptions, sanya, mental formations, sankhara, and consciousness, vijnana. While the 5 khandhas offer a valuable framework for understanding our experience, including aspects of the mind, Buddhism also uses other terms and concepts to describe the mind's full complexity. It's important to understand that the 5 khandhas are a way of analyzing our experience, not a rigid definition of the mind itself. Rupa refers to the physical body and the material world. Vedana encompasses pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral sensations. Sanya is the process of recognizing and interpreting sensory information. Sankhara includes our volitions, intentions, habits, and mental patterns. Vijnana is the awareness of sensory input and mental phenomena. It's the faculty that makes experience possible. So, how do these aggregates relate to sleep? During waking hours, these aggregates are usually very active. We're constantly feeling, perceiving, thinking, reacting. But in sleep, they quiet down. It's not that they disappear, they're simply less dominant. They continue to regulate vital functions like breathing and heartbeat, but they're not demanding our conscious attention. To understand this broader view of the mind, we can also consider the concept of citta. In many Buddhist texts, the term citta, often translated as mind or heart-mind, is used to refer to the totality of mental activity, thoughts, emotions, intentions, and awareness itself. Citta is a broader concept that encompasses the interplay of the 5 khandhas and other mental processes. There's a story about a monk named Sona who was struggling with his meditation practice. He was trying so hard to focus, to control his mind, that he was becoming frustrated and exhausted. He went to the Buddha for guidance. The Buddha, instead of giving him more techniques to control his mind, used a beautiful analogy. He asked Sona about his former life as a musician, and specifically about playing the lute. He said, "Sona, when the strings of your lute were too tight, was it in tune and playable?" Sona replied that it was not. "And when the strings were too loose?" Again, Sona said no. The Buddha then explained that the mind is the same. It needs to be finely tuned, not too tight with effort, not too loose with distraction. The connection to sleep becomes clear. Sleep, in a way, is a natural finding of that balance. It's a time when the mind, citta, is allowed to be less tightly strung, less driven by conscious effort. It doesn't mean the mind is inactive. It means it's operating in a different, more subtle way. During deep sleep, we experience a minimal level of conscious awareness. But the underlying capacity for awareness, the citta, remains. Think of it like a computer that's gone into sleep mode. The screen is dark, the fan is quiet, but the operating system is still running in the background, keeping everything ready to go. It's a state of low power, but not no power. This is similar to how the citta functions during deep sleep. A reduced level of activity, but still fundamentally present. This state of quietude, this deep rest, shows us something profound about the nature of our own minds. It shows us that our minds are capable of being calm and still, even while they continue to function. It's a glimpse of the peace that's always available to us, even amidst the busyness of our waking lives. And it's something we can cultivate, not just in sleep, but in our waking moments too, through practices like meditation. By training our minds to be present, to be less reactive, we can access that same sense of calm and clarity, even when we're not asleep. Chapter 3. Dreams. What's that story? The world fades, the body stills, and then a flicker. A story unfolds, sometimes familiar, sometimes utterly strange. We're in the realm of dreams, those nightly journeys into the landscape of our own minds. What are these vivid, often illogical experiences? Are they just random noise? Or do they hold a deeper meaning? From a Buddhist perspective, dreams aren't dismissed as mere illusions. They're seen as reflections of the mind's activity, arising from the same mental processes that shape our waking lives. The fundamental principle, as expressed in the Dhammapada, is that the mind is the forerunner of all things. Our thoughts, emotions, and experiences, both conscious and unconscious, shape our reality, including the reality we experience in dreams. If our waking lives are like a movie projected onto a screen, dreams are like a behind-the-scenes look at the projector itself. We see the inner workings, the gears and sprockets that create the images. Sometimes those workings are clear and orderly. Other times, they're jumbled and chaotic. Buddhism suggests that dreams can arise from various sources: past experiences, unresolved emotions, anxieties, even physical sensations. They're not necessarily predictive of the future, but they can offer valuable insights into our present state of mind. There's a fascinating account in the Buddhist Jataka tales of King Pasenadi, who had a series of 16 disturbing dreams. He was troubled by these dreams, fearing they portended disaster for his kingdom. He went to the Buddha for guidance. The Buddha, rather than interpreting the dreams as literal prophecies, explained that they reflected the king's own anxieties and concerns about the future. The dreams weren't predicting specific events, but they were revealing the king's inner turmoil. This story highlights an important point. Dreams are often more about our internal landscape than about external reality. They're a mirror reflecting our hopes, fears, and unresolved issues. So, how does this align with what science tells us about dreams? Modern neuroscience has made significant strides in understanding the mechanics of dreaming. We know that dreams are most vivid and frequent during REM, rapid eye movement sleep, a stage characterized by increased brain activity, rapid eye movements, and muscle paralysis. During REM sleep, the brain's emotional centers, such as the amygdala, are highly active, while the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical reasoning, is less active. This may explain why dreams often have a strong emotional component and can sometimes defy logic. Neuroscience also suggests that dreams play a role in memory consolidation and emotional processing. They may help us to sort through the day's experiences, integrate new information, and work through unresolved emotional conflicts. In a way, dreams are like the brain's nightly cleanup crew, tidying up the mental clutter and preparing us for a new day. This scientific understanding resonates with the Buddhist view of dreams as reflections of the mind's activity. Both perspectives suggest that dreams are not random or meaningless, but rather arise from our experiences and play a role in our mental and emotional well-being. The invitation here is not to become obsessed with interpreting every detail of your dreams. Rather, it's to approach them with curiosity and a willingness to learn from them. When you wake up from a vivid dream, instead of dismissing it, take a moment to reflect. What emotions did it evoke? What themes or symbols stood out? What might it be telling you about your current state of mind? By paying attention to our dreams, we can gain valuable insights into ourselves and cultivate greater self-awareness, both in our sleeping and waking lives. This is a practice of mindfulness, of turning inward and observing the workings of our own minds with gentle curiosity. Chapter 4. Deep Sleep, Why So Quiet? Beyond the swirling narratives of dreams lies a state of profound quiet, deep sleep. It's a place where conscious awareness seems to vanish, where there are no stories, no images, no sense of self. What's happening in the mind during this seemingly empty state? Why is it so essential for our well-being? From a Buddhist perspective, this deep, dreamless state isn't seen as a void, an absence of anything. Rather, it's a state of potential, a ground of being from which all experience arises. While the active thinking mind is quiet, the fundamental capacity for awareness remains. In some Buddhist traditions, particularly in the Abhidhamma teachings, there's a concept called Bhavanga-citta. This is often translated as life continuum or ground of becoming. It's described as a subtle underlying stream of consciousness that continues even in deep sleep, providing the continuity of existence between moments of active awareness. Bhavanga-citta isn't something we can directly experience in the same way we experience thoughts or emotions. It's more like the underlying canvas upon which the painting of our experience is created. It is the most fundamental state of mind. The Buddha himself emphasized the importance of understanding the nature of consciousness, and while he didn't explicitly describe Bhavanga-citta in the earliest suttas, the underlying principle is consistent with his teachings. The continuation of awareness, even in the absence of conscious thought, is a key element of Buddhist philosophy. So, what does science have to say about this state of deep, dreamless sleep? Neuroscience has identified this stage as non-rapid eye movement, NRM, sleep, specifically stage 3, also known as slow wave sleep, SWS. During SWS, the brain's electrical activity is dominated by slow, high-amplitude delta waves. This is a period of profound physical and mental restoration. During SWS, the body releases growth hormone, repairs tissues, and strengthens the immune system. The brain also clears out metabolic waste products that accumulate during waking hours. It's like a nightly maintenance cycle, essential for optimal functioning. Interestingly, during SWS, the brain is less responsive to external stimuli. It's much harder to wake someone from SWS than from other stages of sleep. This suggests a significant reduction in conscious awareness, a turning inward of attention. But does this mean consciousness is completely absent? That's a question that continues to be debated in both science and philosophy. However, the fact that we can be awakened from deep sleep, that we can transition back to conscious awareness, suggests that some fundamental level of awareness remains. This aligns with the concept of Bhavanga-citta, the subtle stream of mind that persists even when conscious thoughts and sensations are absent. The experience of deep sleep, that sense of profound rest and renewal, points to something fundamental about our nature. It shows us that we are not just our thoughts, our emotions, our stories. we are also that which underlies all of those things. That capacity for awareness that remains even when the surface activity of the mind subsides. And by understanding this, by recognizing the value of this deep, quiet state, we can cultivate a greater sense of peace and well-being, not just in sleep, but in all aspects of our lives. Chapter 5. Waking Up. Ready for today. The quiet deepens, then gradually begins to lift. A subtle shift, a stirring. Light filters through closed eyelids. Sounds, once distant, become clearer. The body, rested and restored, begins to re-engage. You open your eyes, and the world comes back into focus. It's a new beginning, a return to wakefulness. But what kind of beginning is it? From a Buddhist perspective, waking up is more than just a return to activity. It's an opportunity, a chance to set the tone for the day ahead, to cultivate a mind that is clear, calm, and present. It's a moment of renewal, a reminder that each day is a fresh start. The Buddha himself was known to wake early, before dawn. He would often use this time for quiet contemplation, sitting in meditation before beginning his daily activities. He understood the power of those first moments, the way they could shape the entire day. He emphasized the importance of being awake, of maintaining a state of mindful awareness. Think of it like setting the sail of a boat. The way you set the sail in the morning will determine the course of your journey throughout the day. If you set it with intention, with mindfulness, you're more likely to navigate the day's challenges with grace and ease. If you rush into the day, mindlessly reacting to whatever comes your way, you're more likely to be tossed about by the winds and waves. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha emphasizes the importance of wakefulness, of being present and aware. He contrasts it with heedlessness, which is likened to a state of death. To be awake, in the Buddhist sense, is not just to be physically conscious, it's to be mentally alert, to be present to the unfolding of each moment. There's a story of a monk who was constantly falling asleep during meditation. He went to the Buddha, frustrated and discouraged. The Buddha, instead of scolding him, offered practical advice. He told him to splash water on his face, to walk mindfully, to engage his senses with the world around him. This story, found in the Anguttara Nikaya, highlights that wakefulness is not just a passive state. It's something we actively cultivate. Science also sheds light on the importance of the waking process. During sleep, the brain clears out toxins and waste products that accumulate during the day. This cleansing process is essential for optimal cognitive function. When we wake up, our brains are refreshed, ready to take on new challenges. Studies have also shown that our cortisol levels, a hormone associated with stress and alertness, naturally rise in the morning. This cortisol awakening response helps us to feel energized and ready to face the day. However, if we wake up abruptly, with a jarring alarm clock or a sense of panic, we can disrupt this natural process, leading to a feeling of grogginess and stress. So, how can we approach waking up in a way that supports both our physical and mental well-being? The key is to cultivate a sense of gentle awareness. Instead of jolting ourselves awake, we can allow ourselves to awaken gradually, noticing the subtle shifts in our bodies and minds. We can take a few moments to simply lie in bed, feeling the breath, noticing the sensations of the body, listening to the sounds around us. We can set an intention for the day, perhaps cultivating a quality like kindness, patience, or gratitude. This simple practice, taking just a few minutes each morning, can have a profound impact on the rest of our day. It's a way of honoring the transition from sleep to wakefulness, of recognizing the preciousness of each new day, and of approaching life with a sense of mindful presence.